So to answer three questions today, number one, how do you work standing all day? Number two, how do you avoid forearm strain? And number three, what about a mouse? I've been using a standing desk solution for about almost 10 years now. Uh, and I use a solution by a company called Focal Furniture, and this is their basically entry level chair, and it's about 60 bucks off of Amazon. It's kind of like a pogo stick. It just, you prop it on, hopefully on slip surface, and it just, and lean into it like so. So I'm leaning on it right now. So I'm not really standing all day. I'm kind of like using a chair, but if you go to their website, you understand why this works better. Your upper body is in this perfect 130 degree, which is great because your body is bearing some of your weight, and that is how you get the benefits, because by now everybody knows that sitting all day long is equivalent to, I don't know, 5 cigarettes or whatever the number is. And some people are in my employer provides standing desks, adjustable desks that you can use. At home, I just use this bookcase. But so that's the first question. That is how I'm able to stand all day for work. And the second question I wanted to address for people who do work like me, I'm a software developer, people who do work that requires them to type for long periods of time, or they're on a keyboard a lot. The question is, if you're like in this position, you get a lot of forearm strain, right? Because your hands are here. But I was at a processing warehouse for drugs, and I noticed that the ladies, like everything else, right? The problem is solved by the people who really desperately need to solve it. They are required to do this to process these incredibly large volumes of drugs that are going by, and these numbers are flashing. And I noticed that what they did was that they had their keyboards, and they were not normal size keyboards, they were smaller, but they had them strapped around their waist like so, right? So whoever these ladies are, and whoever's idea this first originally was, if you watch this video, I am giving you credit for it. It's not my idea. So I came home, and then I tried to replicate it with my keyboard. So I take my regular keyboard, I drilled holes in the back of it, I pulled a strap around my back, and then right now my keyboard is strapped to my waist, and I'm standing, right? Now, for my line of work, software development, you need to, like I said, you're spending a lot of time on a keyboard moving stuff around. And so it helps if you combine this with other tools, like if you master a few keyboard shortcuts that allow you to navigate your computer without needing to move to a mouse all the time, because that's the other thing that I wanted to address. I don't use a mouse at all. It's a steep learning curve. It'll take you, I don't know, a couple of months to be able to work without it. But you have to understand that when computers were originally designed, they didn't have mice, and they worked fine. And so for the most part, everything that you can do with the mouse, you can do with the keyboard. Some things faster. Very few things are still a little bit slower on a keyboard than they would be on a mouse. But I have no complaints about it. It works great. So that is the standing solution. Bifocal, the keyboard just strap around your waist like so. I'm able to navigate and start all my applications from here pretty much without any problems at all. It's very easy on your forearms because, like I said, your arms are in this natural posture. It's as if you are just relaxing, like all day long. Picture that you're at work, but all day long your arms are just at rest. You're relaxing, and the only difference is that you bring them to the front of you like so, right? And you can type, you can move things around, and if you, like I said, you're familiar with how to change applications and how to move stuff around, it can be a huge game changer for you in terms of your workflow, in terms of saving time, etc. Let me see. I think that those were all the questions I wanted to answer. Hopefully this helps someone who is trying to either, number one, start with a standing deck solution from the ground up, just moving out of a chair, and number two, it probably hopefully help with some of the problems some of the concerns you may have, especially if you have to type a lot, that or you've had a history of carpal tunnel syndrome. And finally, about the mouse, yeah, unfortunately, if you haven't trained yourself to work without a mouse, you're going to have to use a normal mouse, and you're going to have to reach up to kind of use it like so. But if you want to, And if you're willing, you can put in the work. Like I said, it'll take you 2, maybe 3 months to kind of like acclimatize to it. But after it's done, you are pretty much all ready to go. This is a wireless keyboard. I have done it at my previous job with a wired keyboard, and it works the same. It works fantastic. So hopefully this helps someone.